Hello again. The extradition hearing for the controversial Bushiri couple has been scheduled to resume next week Friday in Malawi. Earlier this month, a Malawian court ruling paved the way for a substantive hearing on whether witnesses may give evidence from a South African court. The self-proclaimed prophet, Shepherd Bushiri, and his wife Mary are facing fraud, theft and money laundering of more than 100 million rand. The couple fled the country in 2020 while on bail. Let's get the latest now from the Malawian side with Malawi's information minister and also government spokesperson, Mr. Gospel Kazako. Mr. Kazako, good afternoon. Welcome to Today on eNCA, and thank you very much for your time. Ahead of the 5th of August, are you able to share with us at this hour, post the briefing that was given yesterday by your peer here in South Africa, the Minister of Justice, Ronald Lamola, about where they view the case is? He said, and I quote, "I think it's the 5th of August. That's where we are now on this matter in terms of the court processes in Malawi." What are you anticipating as the Malawian government in this matter for the 5th of August?
Well, we cannot anticipate anything because all these issues are under the jurisdiction of the court. What we are doing as government is to make sure that there is fair trial and then making sure that all the processes of the law are being done according to our constitution and according to our law. But let me say this, that there was an application that was made in the High Court trying to see if we can obtain or the court can obtain or the state can obtain evidence or witnesses can be recorded there in South Africa. You know, for that to happen, it should be the High Court in Malawi that should come out with an order or issue an order requesting or asking the court, a competent court in South Africa, to record the witnesses. And then that can be diplomatically sent to Malawi for the attention of the court.
The other point regarding the witnesses, I understood that there's been a request or expectation, I'm not sure of the right word, for them to appear in person, physically, as witnesses in Malawi. I think we've lost the audio. I think the audio was coming back. I think the audio. Sorry, Minister Kazako. I'm sorry, we lost your audio there for a while. Do you mind starting again in responding to that question about the witnesses being in Malawi physically?
Yeah, you know, there were two options: to have witnesses testifying virtually, but that had the problems, and the court generally that was not agreed. And the other option is to ensure that we obtain evidence, or we obtain contributions from the witnesses in South Africa. We have an agreement with the South African government, just like other countries, where after a High Court order in Malawi, witnesses can be recorded in a country, and that can be used in the High Court here. And that's what is happening at the moment. So once that is done, then I think the case is on.
Okay, the case is on. What's your government's view, say, currently at this request to extradite Bushiris to South Africa?
Well, I think we as executive government, we do not have any idea and we don't have any position. And we also don't want to be seen to be influencing anything. Our role basically is to ensure that all the laws that we have in this country are being used very well. The agreements that we also signed with South Africa are being used very well, are being applied very well. That's our role. You know, in Malawi, we have a very, very independent judiciary, and we also observe the different arms of government. The legislature does its work, the judiciary does its work, and us in executive government, we also have our role. We don't like interfering. So if we are to say anything, I think that can be mistaken as interference, and we don't like to interfere in our judicial processes in this country.
But does your government agree that the Bushiris are fugitives from justice?
Well, our government has the courts. It will be up to the courts to decide whether this one is a fugitive or not. You know, this is an essence of law. It's not about emotions or common sense or certain sentimentalities. It's about how the law will interpret the situation. So I think it would be safe for us as a government that believes in the rule of law to leave that in the hands of the courts. The courts will inform us what they think about the Bushiris.
Yeah, Minister Ronald Lamula yesterday he really highlighted the fact of the independence of the judiciary here and in Malawi, and there is a recognition for that. But there are a number of questions. For example, why does Malawi want to hear South Africa's request as a criminal offense when the Bushiris have a case to answer here in South Africa?
I think we would like to agree with the Honourable Minister responsible for justice or responsible courts there in South Africa that that cannot be answered by executive government. That is a matter that will be decided in the court of law. Remember that we believe in the independence of our courts, and it's very important for us to avoid anything that will be seen to be interfering with the processes. It's not good. Let justice be handled by the people that have the experience, people that have the education, the knowledge, and everything that will ensure that the processes are going on very well.
So you're not the court, you're not the judiciary, you've explained that. The 5th of August hearing, in terms of the recording that could be done in a high court in South Africa, could be acceptable to your courts from the experience, from what you know?
Well, I wouldn't know. You know, our courts are very independent. And, you know, today is not 5th August. Let's wait until 5th August. It's only the court that will know whether that is acceptable or not. And for us to mention anything, whether that is acceptable or not, I think that again smells interference, and we try as much as possible to avoid interference in this country.
Okay, finally, matters of extradition between two countries at best are very complex and they do take time. Are the South African authorities, now I'm talking about government, I'm not talking about the courts, are the South African authorities cooperating very well with your government as and when certain requirements or necessary information you may be seeking from them? Is there good cooperation between your government and this government here regarding this matter?
Yeah, don't you think that the Honourable Minister responsible for this issue could have answered that question very well? But as far as we're concerned, if there are certain processes that are being undertaken and are being done, it means there's cooperation. There's no reason for us, one, not to cooperate with South Africa, and we believe, two, there's no reason South Africa shouldn't cooperate with us. Remember, South Africa is a very, very good friend. We treat South Africa as a brother. South Africa is a very unique and special friend, and certainly we have certain agreements, but all these agreements are motivated by the presence of law, and when that time comes, we let the law take its course. So certainly there should be very good understanding between the two countries, but that understanding should not compromise the quality in the observance of the processes that the law does demand.
Thank you very much. That's Gospel Kazako. He's the Information Minister and Government Spokesperson of the Republic of Malawi.